You have found your home and you are now under contract. The wheels are turning to make sure all deadlines are met and we can get you to the closing table on time. The realtor will send the binding contract to the lender, to the closing attorney, and probably to the office contract coordinator to make sure everything is signed correctly, initialed by all parties if any changes were made to the contract, and that the contract is binding. Remember, you are not under contract till the contract is binding and all parties have received a copy. Wheel number 3. Meet Tanya McAdams with Wiseman Law. Tanya is a closing attorney at the West Cobb office. The home buying transaction process cannot be completed without the closing attorney.
Hi there, I'm Tanya McAdams. I'm an attorney with Wiseman, a Georgia-based real estate law firm. We have over 30 years of experience handling real estate transactions in 16 locations across the state. I am based out of our West Cobb office in Marietta. First, I want to congratulate you on taking steps towards your first home purchase. This is an excellent investment and for most people, your largest investment. And although this is an exciting time, it can seem like you have a ton of information to sort through. My goal today is to share with you the steps of the actual real estate closing. And my hope is that by the end of this discussion, you have a good understanding of the process and feel comfortable with all of the steps. However, at the outset, I cannot stress enough to you the importance of partnering with an excellent real estate agent who can help you navigate the process. She can be a valuable asset to you. And I would not undertake any type of home or property purchase without a good real estate agent. Don't forget that. I can't stress it enough. So let's talk about a closing. Let's chat about the process. The first question that comes to mind often is, well, what exactly is a real estate closing? Simply put, it's when the parties to your real estate contract all come together at a set date and time to finalize the transaction. After you enter into a written contract that outlines all the terms of your deal with the seller, a lot starts to happen. Your new contract will be sent to your lender, if you have a lender, and to the closing attorney, and will all come together to work towards the closing date that is listed in your contract. Note, this date is usually a few weeks out from the date you enter into the contract to begin with. This gives everyone enough time to prepare the file for your closing. Your lender, for instance, they're going to need time to finalize your loan before the actual closing date. We at the attorney's office, well, we'll need time to search the title history of the property. And you, as the buyer, you may need time to get inspections done or time to get a survey done of the property, among other things that you may have to do to prepare to purchase the home. That being said, remember, you will also need to submit your earnest money once you enter into the contract. The amount of the earnest money, along with the date or the deadline when it's due, is listed in that contract that you're entering into with the seller. If we at Wiseman are named in your contract to hold these funds, please note that we do have a handy online portal for sending us your earnest money as well. Don't forget to send your earnest money on time. So what happens next? Well, when my office, for instance, receives a new contract, a buzz of activity starts immediately. First, you'll receive an emailed invitation from our office to sign up for our Closing Connect portal. This portal is your window into the status of your file, and it's a secure platform to view our contact information, the time of day and location for your closing. You can upload forms or simply view what is still needed to complete your file. It's a window into the timeline of your closing at our office. Next, our office will order the title history of the property. This is, in other words, a detailed report of how the property has changed ownership, shows any recorded items regarding your property, such as maybe a recorded easement across the property, etc. This search also shows that taxes are current or not, and if there are any mortgages or liens on the property, as these items have to be paid off at closing by the seller. This title search allows us to show that the title to your property is marketable. Well, what does that mean? It means that we can issue a title insurance policy at the closing. So that leads us to an important discussion. That being said, what exactly is title insurance? I'm frequently asked that. Title insurance is an insurance policy that protects your ownership rights in the property that you're purchasing. I cannot stress enough that you need it, and I would never recommend purchasing property without it. Your lender will require that you pay for a title insurance policy that protects their investment, considering that the property you're purchasing is collateral for the loan that they're giving you. That being said, the lender's policy, however, does not protect you as the homeowner. You should have your own policy, so please keep that in mind. You will also get ongoing email updates and calls from our team back at our office all along the way through the process. We'll apprise you of the status of your file. For instance, once we review title, we'll drop you an email or send you a call to let you know. You'll also receive an estimate from your lender during the process as to how much money you will need for the closing. The closing attorney will also send you a settlement statement before the closing date that's going to show the final figure, that is the final amount of funds that you need to close. So why is that important? Well, that being said, at least 24 hours before your closing time, you will need to wire your funds from your bank account to the closing attorney. At Weissman, we will never send you an email with wire instructions for our firm, and that's to protect you. Instead, our firm has you download the wire instructions from our safe portal, which I talked about a few minutes ago, called Closing Connect. Please keep that in mind as well. So, the big day finally arrives. You're excited. This is the day where everyone's going to meet at the office, you, the seller, us, and sign all of the paperwork needed to complete the closing process. I'm often asked, what do I need to bring? Well, definitely bring your government-issued photo ID. Please make sure it's current and not expired, because the lender's not going to allow that. And also bring your checkbook, just in the event you owe a small amount at closing that exceeded the wire. Also note, if you wire too much money, we'll give that back to you at the closing table, of course, in the form of a check. So what else happens at the closing? Your lender will have already sent to us a packet of documents that you sign at the closing table. This is going to include the mortgage and the note. The note actually outlines your payment terms with your lender. The seller will be there more than likely if they haven't already signed, and they'll also sign the deed at the closing, putting the property into your name. The actual closing should not take longer than an hour, and at my office, it's a relaxed experience. We want the closing day to be enjoyable and memorable for you, so I try to ensure that I create a comfortable experience for you, and quite frankly, that's the best part of my job. So that being said, once the closing is done, you're a proud new homeowner. We handle getting the deed to your new home recorded with the county, and you set forth next to move into your beautiful new home. I'm excited to have got to share this information with you today. I hope it's been helpful. I hope it takes a little bit of the confusion and mystery out of the closing process for you. And I certainly hope to see you soon at a closing.